Hey guys, DM Scotty here. Good to have you with me. Today I'm going to talk about chairs. And I really haven't done a lot of furniture or that kind of thing for the dungeon setups. I did do some beds, but I actually needed those for a game, so I wanted to make those. But anyways, I usually buy the kind of stuff that populates the dungeon just for a time factor, because you're making a lot of stuff and it just eases your workload to do that. But there are a lot of people that don't have the money, or they want to make their own stuff. And as I start to fill out my collection, I have more and more time to make that extra stuff. So I really wanted to show how to make these chairs that I made. I needed a lot of chairs, and the fact of putting those little spindly legs on all these bunch of chairs was just kind of daunting to me. So I came up with what I think is a genius kind of workaround of putting all those little spindly legs on chairs, and it makes it a lot easier to make chairs. So let's go to the table and I'll show you how I did that. One last thing too, the like button on the video. If you like these videos, please hit the like button. I've never really asked before, but it's really nice to get those likes. So if you're moderately amused with me, or you like the craft you see, hit the like button. If you don't like it, just turn it off. But yeah, if you like it, please hit the like button. So I'll quit babbling. Let's go to the table and we'll make some chairs. My base material for this project was a pack of woodsies, and these are triangle-shaped, various size woodsies. And these kind of packs are fairly inexpensive, and they're great for using for other projects too. But what I used the inch-long, half-an-inch wide rectangle for this project. So I took one of the rectangle, the half-inch wide rectangles, and cut it in half. And then here you can see I applied it to the inch-long piece, and this will be the backing for the chair. Now I'm going to do my chairs a bit different than you've seen other people do them. I'm going to use a half-inch cube, and you can get these at craft stores. They're woodsies. They come like the other sets. And this is a stick. It's a tapered stick you can also get at the craft store. And I'm going to use that for the legs of the chair. To simulate the front legs of the chair, I'm going to use the tapered sticks. Okay. So what I did is I cut the point off the tapered stick, and then I measured a half-inch and then cut that off the rest of the stick, so those will simulate the front legs. Here you can see I've taken the cube and I've glued those tapered sticks to one side of the cube. Okay. I tried to choose the sides of the cube that were the smoother. There are two sides that are rougher, and I thought that I would use the rougher part for the top and the bottom. Now here is my chair totally assembled, so I've taken the cube with the legs glued to the front of it. Then I glued the back piece to the back, so I've got, you see the headrest, the square headrest there, and then the panel going in the back. And now the seat, what I did is I cut the seat from the rectangular piece. Okay. Now the trick here, what I found worked for me, was I laid the rectangular piece on the chair and then marked it to the point where it covered the legs. If I cut it a half-an-inch, it won't cover the legs because the cube is a half-an-inch. So it's actually a little bit over a half-an-inch. So you can measure that and mark it that way. But what I did was I just laid the rectangular piece on the seat of the chair and then just took a little pen and marked where to cut, and then cut it. You could do that. You could cut one as a template and then use it to cut all your other chairs, because generally if you want to do this technique, you might as well do a bunch of chairs at once. Now here you can see I've made a group of chairs, because there's no point to making one chair at a time. You want to make a group of them because you're going to need it. I needed a lot of them, so I was making different ones. Now you also notice that I had the square back ones that I made for this video. And then I have some round back ones that I made also. And these were from, the round back was from a set of woodsies that were very similar to the rectangular pieces. They were just circles. So they're just different size circles. So I just used this one of the smaller circles to make the headrest for the chair, and gave it a different look. So that way, not all your chairs look the same. You can have different looking chairs in different buildings. Here I have my chair, and I've painted it, sprayed it the black, and then I painted it with a dark burnt umber. Okay, so now I want to pick out some details. So I'm going to use a brush like this. It's a very bristly brush, and I've got a golden brown. Let's see if I can get that in the camera. There we go. Got a golden brown, and I'm going to kind of put that on the brush, and I'm going to dry brush it on the chair. So I'm going to try to pull in one direction. Okay, so I'll try to go like this, and then pull there, and I want to leave some of the dark brown showing through. Okay, so like that, and then I'm going to kind of pull to pick out those legs on there. See that? Okay, and I'll do the same thing on the back. All right, now I also want to get the sides, because I'm going to show you the trick I'm going to do with this chair to make it, to simulate legs without having to actually put them on. Okay. All right, so there we go. We got a nice chair there, but the side is filled in. So what we'll do now is we'll let this dry for just a sec, and then I'll come back and finish it up. So now I want to give the illusion that this chair has legs. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get that so you can see it. I'm going to take a black, okay, and I'm going to use a small brush, and then I'm going to paint the front, which is pretty easy because, you know, it has those legs on there already. So there we go. So you can see that, that's nice. Now the side here, okay, make sure you can see that here. All right, so here's the side. Now I'm going to simulate the legs on the side. So I'm going to take my black, and then I'm going to kind of go in like this, and then I'll do the same thing for this part, for the front leg, kind of going like that. And then I'll paint that in black. So there we've got a nice, two nice simulated legs on there. Now the paint is still wet, so it's a bit glossy. But when this dries, it won't be glossy anymore. So it'll look a lot nicer. It won't stand out like it does now. But this is a really nice technique. So basically, you just paint the other side, and then the chair is ready to go. Here's a little hovel I made, or a little cottage, and this, these are a couple peasant miniatures I made, and just to show for you for scale. There's a little kid, fun. So I showed you the technique for the floorboard, so you can see that popping on that tile. But this video is on chairs, so let's see these chairs. Okay, so here's the basic chair I did, and we'll put that on the tile. So you can see how that looks. That's really good next to the miniatures. I also did the rounded back, okay, and I did another chair that I did like a rounded seat. Okay, so I even made some different chairs, and I used the circular woodsies for that seat. Okay, so let me give you a close-up look at these chair. Now you saw me paint it. Now look how the paint is dried. It doesn't have that gloss look like it did, so it doesn't really stand out. So I think these are a great alternative to trying to
put legs, little teeny legs on a chair, it can be really, really frustrating and just take a lot of time. These, you can just bang these out very quickly because they're so easy to make. Okay, and another side effect I like is that with the four small spindly legs, it's really easy to knock these chairs over. But with these are actually a cube, so they're not as easy to knock over as those other chairs, I feel. Okay, so now we're starting to fill this little hovel out a bit with some furniture. I'm also going to do a table, and I'm going to do a few other things on this tile to kind of fill it out. So I'll continue this series of making, you know, filling out this basically cottage or hovel, you know, with easy crafts like this. So this is the second in the vid. The first one I did, of course, the texture on the floor, the floorboards. So you can see that looks really nice. And then now the chairs. So I thought these were a nice little way to do chairs that I hadn't really seen before, and I just think have a lot of benefits over trying to do chairs with the, you know, the four legs. It's just really, in my opinion, it's just really difficult. These you can bang out really quickly. It just takes a lot of time to do those. So there we go. There's a nice little quick chair you can do, easy chair. And I'll see you next time on the craft.
Hey crafters, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the DM's Craft. Make sure to subscribe, and I have tons of other videos, as you can see. I am the originator of the 2.5D method of crafting tiles. I also do dirt cheap terrain for the table. If all this intrigues you, make sure you check out all the videos below. Also, join my forum. We have lots of great crafters on there who give advice. I have a link above and below. And last but not least, remember, go forth and craft!